What's good, everybody? In today's video, we're looking to continue the Hippopotamus defense speedrun by going for the rating of 2100. If this is your first time, my name is Solomon Ordell. I'm a big fan of the Hippopotamus defense, a system I used as both white and black exclusively to reach the National Master title. And before we get into the games, guys, a quick reminder that for my over 21-hour advanced Hippopotamus defense course, meant to bring you from no understanding of the Hippo all the way up to a very high level of mastery, for that course, the discount code is June 30. Get that 30% off. Only a few days left. Stop messing around. For real. Stop playing games. Well, I guess keep playing games because chess is a game. But okay, here we go. Okay, so it looks like we're kicking off this thing as black. Here we go. For those of you that watched the previous video, I learned quickly I got to start, playing a little bit faster on the clock at this level. It's only going to get harder from here. So I'm going to be looking to play faster, use the clock as a weapon, as Bartholomew often says. And here we go. Okay. So this could turn into a 150, in which case I would play the Tiger. The Tiger's modern. I'm a big fan of the Tiger. They go knight f3. Cool. I'll play the Hippo. And by the way, a6 is a good move there. Hikaru plays the Hippo all the time. It's his most common choice in online chess for black. And he'll play a6 on move 4, so that's fine. I don't know. I don't like playing this as much. I think that by prioritizing kingside development, especially against this setup, I can always do this. And often white will go, oh my gosh, this is such a passive setup. Let me castle and just try to maul you. But ultimately, they got 2 pawns. We got 2 pawns. I'm okay. I don't care. And I got nothing in front of these 3 pawns, which is a big deal. So here we go. The king is on the queen side. When you're playing the Hippo and you see the king on the queen side, the Hippo is not passive, it's not defensive. It's the opposite of all that. We got to attack. A6 is good here. So I'm looking at b5. b5, bishop e7, c5. Okay. If a4, I'd probably still do it. The king's on b1, which changes the dynamic a little bit. But this is still good. Now, do I want to do it now, or do I want to develop a little sooner? If the king was on c1, I wouldn't even think about pushing this. With the king on b1, takes, bishop takes. Interesting. I'm going to play a little bit slower right now. I'm not all that worried about their attack anyway, so I'm just going to go b6 for now. Put a little bit of pressure on e4. Okay. All right, so I got the pressure there. So now if they do all this and they take with the knight, I get the pawn out of it, which is good. The bishop, I could automatically kick it. Now that move, okay, sure. So now we're breaking open the A file is the idea. It's a file white's really just not going to have access to going forward, I don't think. And here, there's different moves. I mean, I could go c6. I could go knight f6. Well, actually, never mind. c6, bishop c6. I think I'm leaning towards c6 there. Okay, if the bishop runs, probably queen a5. If it goes here, maybe the same thing. Yeah. Okay, if the bishop moves, the game's over. I'd like to castle and get this rook involved. That would be incredible. But of course, I don't want to drop h6. That would be the opposite of fun. And what do we got now? d6 is under attack. I could push. Pushing looks okay, actually. Push. Takes. Takes. Yeah, I don't know if I like the knight taking, because if I take the queen, it's not with check. Here? Yeah, knight b6 tends to be a good idea too. Maybe I go knight b6. Okay, so I got 3 attackers on that bishop now. What are they going to do? They can't move the bishop. They could go b3. If they push the b pawn, c5. Nope, still pinned. d5. takes, I guess. I could always go king d7. I actually like that move because then I can bring this rook over. Okay, bring that rook over. Queen b4 is a concept. Now knight d3, that's, if you go there, I take your pawn. If here, I'm threatening to take that bishop, I could always do something like that. No, never mind. Rook. I think I gotta start with rook b8. Okay, so now I got all this geared. I got a lot of pressure towards their king. Here, that's a possibility. It feels so crazy to do that, but I think it's good. Because they're handing me a pawn. Now they do have checks, but in either case, I could take with the pawns. I was going to say the bishop, but then bishop takes d6. Can I just take that? I don't want to take the bishop. That's just, I don't know. I think I'm okay. But I could take the knight. Okay, so we take that guy off. Bishop next. Takes. I'm up 2 right now. Takes, here. Here. Nope, not good. I run. Attacking the queen. Wow. Wild position. We're going to go over this one once this is done. Okay, that's not, I don't care about that. Okay, I'll take that guy off. Now, I'd love to get to A1. Do I have the time, though? That's, all of this is covered. Now it's not. King. That's the threat. If I take, check here, that can't be good. Check. Wow. Can't be good. They're gonna throw the rook in there. King up. That wins. Huh. Very well played. All right, we're going to take a look at this. I definitely was winning at some point. Okay. All right, let's take a look. So all this was good. That was good. That was good. That was engine move, engine move, engine move. Not engine move, but it was fine. I guess it wanted this. I don't really like that idea. Engine move. Engine move. That's winning. Wow. Over -2. Here. I guess it opens this up faster. What a trip. Very nice idea. Yeah, I got a little bit stuck when I ended up going for that. Now here, this is a draw. If I find this. What? Okay, well, that's just crazy. Guess I'm winning if they do that, so they gotta go here. Now I'm fine. What the heck? Bishop G7. That did not cross my mind. But before that... So all this was like engine move play by me, except this. But here I got to do that. Wow. Attack. Yeah, and if they if the queen runs, I take the knight. Wow, beautiful. Okay. Well, here we go. Looks like we're doing a speed run to 2000 and 2100 today. Okay. Here we go. So we got... We're good here. Good here. Good there. Boom. That's a little iffy to me. I don't know about that move. Alright, I'll support my bishop since there's that tension. Castle. Kick that knight out of town. I've had some players like dance the knight around and do this kind of thing, but you're just giving me a bunch of tempo there, so I don't really like that. Now here for them. Now here against the King's Indian, I talk about this in the advanced course. Take the space they give you, right? Take the space slowly, methodically, purposefully. Which one of these is the best? If I go here, I can always take the knight, so I'll do this first. So how can I just take some space? Take some space every move. I don't know how I'm going to win, or if I'm going to win. But again, I'm not worried about how do I win. I'm worried about how do I improve my position. Take the space slowly. There are, I mean, technically chess is not infinite, but it's as close as you could probably get for a game. There's so many things that can happen. Okay, takes. Are they giving me an opportunity here? If they take the knight, I'm winning. If they take, now it's even. I take the bishop, they take the rook. They're up 2. Takes, it's even. Yeah, they have such a direct line with that bishop. Okay, so I'm gonna kick it back. Take more space. Okay, this is why defending the bishop matters, because they don't have this. If I take, they don't have a bishop. If I take the bishop there, I don't know if I love that, but if they took here, I could just take. Okay, here we go. Knight G3, tucking the knight. This actually reminds me, shout out to my brother Joey for the chessboard back there. That was a position from my National Master game, the game that I hit NM with the hippo, and very similar to this. A little bit different. The guy took a lot more space on the queen side, but okay, here we go. You know what? I'm gonna... In that game, I used a technique with my knight. Let me see if I can pull that off again, going for F5. Okay, so now I'm looking towards that square. It is a little bit different with their bishop, but this knight is good. It is strong. It's covering different spots. They lock my bishop off. Okay, well. I want to push. They push. That's okay. I mean, I definitely have the leverage there. I'd love for F5 to not have a pawn there, but if I didn't push, then none of this would have happened anyway. Kick, takes, knight in. Okay, maybe we go here, throw the knight in there. If they take, we take with tempo. I could sack a pawn, throw my knight into the mix, or bishop e4, I don't know. But I don't necessarily want them playing f6 because then this is all closed off. I'm still better, but... Okay, knight d4, though. I think you just handed me a piece, bro. I think you just handed me a piece. Do I go here first? Here? Might as well. Okay. So we go pawn up. We attack that knight now. The knight has nowhere to go safely. Everything's covered. By pushing this, guys, I now have this diagonal to work with. I have this square. I have this activity Okay, that makes a big difference. All right, so we take queen back. Okay, c4. Let's see. c4. I run. Might as well run to d1. That way, if they do take, I'm not forced to take with my queen. Like if I run here and they take, I got to take, right? But here I don't. If they take, I don't have to. I probably will, but I wouldn't have to. And then this is what I'm talking about. So since my pawn is gone, that's a very nice bishop. I'm still at material too, so that was kind of nice. It's like, well, you're winning a piece for a pawn. Why not make it just a piece for 2 pawns and get the f5 square? All right, so that queen's looking to mobilize. If I check a knight in there, that's fine. I could also improve the queen as well. Let me do that. Now I got 4 on it. I'll probably throw the knight in. If check, I move, I'm fine there. Now with the rook coming to e8, here, takes. Maybe I gotta go bishop. Get rid of that piece, because that's their good bishop. This bishop's terrible. They take, we take with the knight. Monster knight there. Let's see. I'll just keep taking the squares they give me. Takes, check. Here, takes, check. I get the rook. If they go, okay, they go there. So check, boom, nope, doesn't work. Okay, let me threaten mate on h7. Okay, they take that way. We can start filtering in our rooks. There's no mate threat yet. That looks pretty strong though. Takes, boom, check. Okay, now it doesn't. f6, we... Adding pressure can't be a bad idea. Can't be bad. Here? Here? Maybe? Okay. Again, just adding pressure. Okay. Go king g2. What else? Maybe I filter in the h file? Well, that move gives me g5, I think. Because if they take, I take the rook on f8. Here I could take, I could check, I could take? I'd probably take. So that guy's under fire. I got 3 on this pawn. They have 4 defenders. Okay, they can't take because the rook would fall. I don't want to take and blunder away the game. That pawn's a little bit of a concern. That looks pretty unstoppable to me, unless they go here. Okay. Okay, back to the speed run to 2100. Okay, g6. Fianchetto bishop. Are we going to get a tiger? Looks like we might. Very tactical games at this level. Okay, maybe not. Bishop e2. Oh, maybe. Maybe we will. Okay. If they push, I push. If they go here, I automatically go there because this no longer works. Wow. Really? Now, this is the kind of stuff where players will drop games all the time because they're attacking, but they just make bigger weaknesses. That's all they're really doing. I mean, h4 falls. If they take the rook, I take. Their bishop's dropping. So I think they got to go bishop h3 or queen g2. Yeah, queen g2. Okay, we could put pressure there. I could pin. Let me do that. So I got that pressure now. Okay, I can now take. And this pawn now only has one defender, so I could kick and take. Can I get away with that? I think I can. Kick the knights. Snatch that guy off. Now we're up 2 pawns. c2 is hanging, which would go after the knight. King over. Guarding both. I feel pretty secure in this. I'm trying to think how could white, I mean, we'll see how they try to, but how could white break that open? I could go here. I could go here and trap the queen, although I'm not really winning the queen. It's more just a trap for no reason. Here, takes. That looks fine to me, because I don't really want them doing all that. So let me, yeah. Okay, attack the queen. The queen's got to go somewhere. You can't go to any of these squares. So you probably got to go back. If you go to h4 and I take, that would lose. h2. Yeah, I'll sure just run back. All right. There we go. Okay, so solid setup. We'll see an Austrian or just a 2-pawn center. The 150 is kind of out the window once e6 is played because the knight can't develop properly. Or naturally, whatever word you want to use. Okay, we got more time coming off the clock. Yeah, so f5, I got to go knight e2. 1, 2, 3. With knight f6, yeah, we can just play our game. Finish out the hippo. See what they decide to do with it. Okay, so we fianchetto, tuck the knight. Yeah, so this pawn's not a target, but who says we can't take a little bit of space? So that could be an option. They also have a fianchetto, so I got to be mindful of that. I'm going to play g4. It's not with tempo, but if here I could tuck and they don't have enough, they don't have pressure on it. They only have one knight looking at it right now. Here, let's do that. Now e4, I got different options there, including taking, including knight f5. If they don't play e4, I could do that. I could also look to jump in. I could go h4. Go for that kingside attacking idea that we've been seeing a lot against the London in this speedrun. In fact, right here, I think we're gonna, yeah, I think I'm gonna go here. Kick the knight. Takes. Okay, so they go there. I think that points towards capturing this pawn. And they probably want to break it open at some point. I don't want them to. So let's just put an end to that whole thing. All right, so you got two bishops that are looking at nothing. I got two bishops that are locked up, but in the Hippo we're flexible. We can go for that. We can go for this. Here right now, that's fine. Takes and I take. So that's an improving move. Got to improve those bishops once the lockup happens. Queen h5 maybe? Attacking both of those. If the queen leaves the knight hanging, if the knight runs, I could go up the exchange. The bishop runs. Takes here, back, I guess. Takes here, I run. I mean, I'm up a pawn. I think queen f3 is probably the best if I get kicked. That way I'm not going to get kicked by knight again. So I might as well just run to f3. Nah. Okay, so I'm up a pawn now. I could go knight f5. So knight f5 is solid. Bishop f5 is solid. I'll throw the knight in there. Okay, I'll throw this guy in there now. Here, that's a fork. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about the Hippo. Like, the center gets locked up, their bishops are, I mean, they're fianchettoed here, but oftentimes the bishops are unable to, their bishops aren't able to really do much, and our bishops are, okay, it's the Hippo, we just boom, boom, and they're way better. Like this move right now, and we have a great bishop. I'm thinking, let's see, takes. That's great. I could add more pressure too. I guess they go there though. Yeah. So what do we have? Takes, check. That's cool with me. Start with that. So do they have discoveries that I don't like? Not really. I'm fine. Take that guy. If they take this knight, I can always fly in with the bishop. Or go back. That could work too. In hindsight, maybe this is better. Just take the rook. If here, discovery, that doesn't, I don't know, it feels a little dangerous all of a sudden. Okay, but they take with the king. Do I like the king here? I mean, I guess I do. I'll keep the king there just for a little bit. That way they gotta always worry about checks. Okay. Okay, fine. Check. Should probably castle and get safe at some point here. But we're up 3 points in material, so this is winning. I just gotta play well, trade down, all that good stuff. I could actually think about, yeah, maybe queen g3. So if they go king h8, queen g3, so that makes a double threat. They could go there. There. They go there. Okay, they don't do it. Isn't that hanging? I guess they get activity. So let me play safe here. Castle queen side. That's check, so I'm okay with that. Check always makes it easy, right? Okay, start filtering those rooks in. That doesn't really even threaten anything. I don't know if I'd call that a threat right now. But it's good activity. They defend, we calmly get off of this diagonal. And I'd like to improve this bishop now. So now that's a mate threat, mate in 1. How do they stop that? I don't think they can. I mean, they could go here, but then takes. And then we have 2 mate in 1 threats. Takes. That doesn't do anything for me. So I think if the knight comes here, I just got to take it. Same with this. Just take the knight. All right. Okay, just get that b3 move in real quick. Fianchetto my bishop. Here we go. Okay. Tuck the knight in. They could get rid of their bishop if they want to. We'll see if they want to or not. Okay, they do. All right, so because of that, we have a little bit of extra room to operate in. We have the bishop pair, which is nice. Y'all know me, I love knights, but yeah, hey, at this point in the game, the bishop pair is totally fine. And ultimately, without their bishop, I mean, they've done a good job, actually, of covering these light square pawns, but I'm going to be keeping an eye on the light squares as this game continues. Yeah, g4 doesn't do as much as it did because I don't have a knight tuck available. Plus, it's against a fianchetto, which is typically not as good anyway because your knight's already neutralized there. I could take space. Let me just castle. Play calm. Take a breath, dude. Just take a breath. a5. We go... I mean, I don't love knight c5. I don't love that for me. Let's make another waiting move. Prophylactic move, ultimately. Not pointless. Not pointless. I'm not worried about h3. They don't even have a light square bishop, and I'm getting off of this diagonal in case it ever breaks open. Very safe diagonal for me. Queen there, we can, I think it's time. Yeah, I think it's time, guys. Take that space. The good news, too, is even if they do go knight c5, I'm already protecting it. It's not like I have a traditional hippo setup with a knight on e2, with the bishop able to get to f5 and all that. Rook c1 looks logical to me. Rook c1, maybe knight f3, maybe. I don't know. f4, I'm not doing that. Interesting. Now d4, yeah, I'll lock it up. I mean, I could take, but then that's active. So let me lock that up. Now I'm really looking towards f4, if I can pull that off. Right? Start attacking on the king side. We got those pawns facing towards their king. My pawn's not on c2 anymore. It's on c4. In either case, I'm just trying to play calm on this side. Start attacking. Takes. That looks good. Bishop c1 is definitely on the potential moves. Now, they could take, which I would recommend to them, but that is weakened. So they got to figure that out. Okay, now these are weakened. Can't target them yet, just something to keep an eye on. That does not help me. But I like... Well, you know what? I actually don't want that knight going to h5. But then queen f4. Queen f4 is annoying. Okay, I guess I can't really stop this right now. I could go here, actually. No, still can't. Like, in one sense, this is very good for me. In another sense, it's not good. So let me think about this. I kick, they go there. They're threatening a fork. Yeah, it just doesn't seem like the right timing. I can also do this whenever I want. So, queen up. Let me put the queen in a spot where this is not going to be a threat. You can't kick my queen. Now this is an idea at the very least. Okay, we can centralize. Okay, this might be a position where I do gotta go king g1 again. Yeah. If I push, yeah, that's weak. That's weak. And if I push, they take. If I go here, that might be the best thing I have, but it's not great. Bishop takes. That's a threat. Takes. Okay. So we're down 3. So I have to attack. I have to play crazy here. I'm losing. So I know that, but hey, you got to fight, right? See if we can cook something up here. I got to play the clock even right now, but okay, back to h1 we go. I'll pin that knight real quick. Okay, trying to create complications here. That's annoying. Yeah, I don't know. Knight g5, I guess. Knight e5. See if we get lucky. Okay, so centralize, I guess. I mean, I'm down so much right now, so there's not really much I can do, but just hope. If they go there, I could get 1 point back. Who cares? F5. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe my knight can start dancing on those dark squares. Okay, so they'll give me the knight, but then I lose my rook. Okay, I'll run back to f1. Takes. Right. Block that off. I'd love for them to play f5, but I don't think we're going to see that. Oh, we are. Okay. I mean, I'm still losing. Check. No. Let's wait for a second. Okay. Got some pressure there, at the very least. Oh, mouse slip. But it doesn't matter. Okay. Alright, guys, let's see where I went wrong on that one. I was doing okay. Okay, so I could play c4 there. It's about even right now. It's like dead even. Okay, so that was a mistake. So I got to take. Interesting. Maybe it's because my pawn's on c4. Takes. That is weak. That is weak. And if you push it, yeah, so that makes sense. I'm still okay, though. That was a blunder. Wow. That's very rare that that's a blunder, but yeah, they have... I think the problem, too, is my king on h1 really didn't help me there. So maybe that's something we got to think about more. When the knight's off the board and g3's weaker, maybe that's not so safe. Maybe that's the weakest pawn on my king side. Okay, we'll keep it pushing. Fianchetto. Okay, so we got a 2-pawn center. All right, tuck the knight. Here we go. All right, a6. Okay, so this bishop is out of position in terms of my king side, so I can kick and tuck without worrying about any of that. The knight is almost trapped, but not quite. I'll keep attacking. Okay, here, 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 here. Maybe. Here, 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 here. Maybe I make a quiet little move. Castle queenside with it. The knight can't run to h2 or else the bishop drops. All right, so that's not good for them, the bishop being trapped. Knight d2, boom. So the knight can't move right now. If the bishop moves, same issue. Well, not same issue, but similar. I mean, it's just bad for them. Now, queen d2, typically here, bishop h6 is a great way to play it. Yeah, okay. Since we were able to push that h-pawn, tuck that bishop behind, see where the queen's going. They move the queen again. Here, here, here. Works. This is also totally fine. I could castle, but that's a little bit wobbly. 1, 2. I go there. They take. I go there. They take. I go there. It looks good. I'm giving up a pawn, but it's very active. Are there any other moves I can make that just slightly improve my position? They're not too committal. I'm trying to see. If I push, they could take. I don't like that. I could castle. Maybe I'll throw that move in there. I'll just throw it in, see what they do with it. I don't think sacking is sound for them, as dangerous as it looks. Now e5. Now here, you are giving me activity that I did not have. So I appreciate that. Takes, takes, takes looks good. I guess d5 is a little bit annoying though. Takes, they push. Yeah, that's fine. I always have knight c5 available as well. In that type of position, right? So yeah, usually guys, we don't lock up with d5. When they push the e-pawn, we're not pushing. Now knight takes, I think you're... Yeah, takes, takes. That doesn't do anything. Which knight do I want? Doesn't matter. I guess I'll keep my kingside knight. Might as well. Keep it pushing here. Okay, so very aggressive setup. Good pressure towards this side of the board. A rook on g8 I think would be beautiful. If white tries to defend all day long, I don't think they're going to be able to manage it. They're going to have to create counter-attacking play to survive here. So sometimes the best attack you have is... Well, I said that backwards. Sometimes the best defense you have is an attack. I don't think the best attack you can ever have is a defense. I don't think I've heard that one before. Now d5 is something we could see. It slows down my bishop. At the same time, you can't take if they do that. Now that move, I'm very happy to see that. Okay. That's cool with me. That gives me activity. Yes, you could take my rook. but I think the attacking chances there are probably too big. Taking... Takes, yeah. Okay, let me take this guy off. That's a good bishop. Oh, sorry about that. Bishop f4. Takes here. Here. Check here. Maybe not. Okay. That's not good. That's playable. That's playable. That's playable. A lot of playable moves. I'm going to go here. Kick that rook. I up d4 a little bit. I guess, yeah, I was looking at this, but that's not good for them. I can't push my f-pawn. Okay, keep on attacking. So, excuse me, I got rook h8, rook h1 as a possibility. Right? That's all possible. Knight, I mean, they could go f3 at some point. Right? They probably will. I don't know. Okay, so I'm threatening mate. That does not work because I win the knight. So you got to go f3. Yeah. f3. Take. Here. I'm going to get rid of that knight. Get rid of the knight. If takes, okay, they take with the rook. Then I think we get the rook. Check. Snatch that guy off. Sure. Keep going after that king. If the bishop flies in, probably king. Yeah, I'll go there. A check doesn't bother me. I'm so close to mate. Do I have anything that's forcing? Maybe here? I mean, I could trade down, but I got 33 seconds. So if I can get mate, that's preferable. Or at least trade down into a very easy endgame. If here, there... What else they got? I have this idea. Okay, so I mine up g2. All right, so that falls. Check. Check. Okay, we should be okay. Takes, yeah, I mean, we're crushing. It's just a matter of the clock. Keep going after that king. Bishop f8 should be mate. All right. Oh. Okay. Just get that moving real quick. Push my two pawns up. I want to defend this bishop as soon as I can since there's that tension there. If they offer a trade, I'm okay trading because it's their kingside bishop. Okay. They might be giving their bishop up here. If they don't, then they just wasted some time. Okay. So as we touched on, when they bring the bishop in and take our knight, that's a little bit of a wobbly pawn, it seems like. Like if I push this, it's a lot less secure than normal, and that can be a big issue. So that's something I gotta be mindful of. Castling. Yep. That looks good to me. Queen up. We have this. I mean, I don't have to do it. In fact, I usually wouldn't. King h8. That's fine as long as I don't push this pawn, because then that's vulnerable. Based on that last game we were playing. e5, that gives them that. c5, that's solid. I'll play it slow again. Play it slow, play calm. Maybe at some point I'll have b5 ideas. A little Banco Gambit, I don't know. Gives a little leverage. Okay, I up that queen. Just in case things break open. And it looks like they're going to. I don't think this is good for white. I mean, I got my rook looking right at your queen. You take with the pawn, I take. You take with the knight, I take. They push. Okay, so pushing here. I could always just take as well. Let me take. That's a little bit simpler. Trade down. The queen flies in. We're up a pawn. Attack that queen again. I'm guessing the queen's going to try to make some progress. In fact, where else can your queen go? That might be it. Nowhere else is safe. Taking, I take with the rook. So yeah, queen c6. I push. Activating that hippo bishop. They go back. Their queen might get trapped. It's important to note that I'm not actually threatening to take that knight. All right, that's not a threat because it's pinned, but it is tension. I am threatening this though. I'm threatening to take the rook and then take the knight. So that's the threat, taking the rook. If the knight runs to d2, that might be a trap of the queen. The knight goes to h4. Again, we're up a pawn. We have the leverage. I'm thinking we... I guess I could go here now. I was thinking takes and then e3, but they can't take with the rook. Does that make a difference? e3 right now. I guess they take here. Yeah, never mind. Yeah. Okay, so I'll take their rook. I do lose the file. That's true. But I'm feeling pretty okay with all this coverage. And then I can play... Honestly, bishop takes is probably not bad. I'm going to go e3, though. Just push this pawn. I'm looking to take. Pushing as well, actually, could be an option. With d3 being ours right now. Taking looks good. Okay, so the queen activates. We got knight in. Okay, so the hippo bishop's doing a good job. The knight is looking at f2. How do they stop that? I don't think they can do it well. I don't think they can do it well. Here, that would threaten a mate in 2. That would be fun. I could also just do it right now. But let me go here first. Just add more pressure. Okay, to that square. See what they do. Yeah, if knight f2 and the king ran, then that would be mate, scholar's mate, but they could have took. And then now we have 1, 2. All right, we're getting somewhere, guys. g3. Okay, we've been seeing this set up a lot at this ELO range. Okay, the bishop's been kind of annoying me a little bit, so let me just put an end to that whole idea. e5 is vulnerable. I don't know where that knight's going. I guess you could go to a6. Okay. We advance. e5 again. Your knight cannot support it unless you play c5. Now we're in an Averbach type structure. That points towards f4. I'm not even going to think about it much. It's an Averbach. f4. Bring the knight over. I'm now triple attacking it. If you kick, I can jump in. if you take with the knight. If you push, sometimes taking is good. Let's see, takes. Takes. If they take with the knight, takes. It's okay. I don't love it though, so I'm gonna go e4. Threatening f5. If they take, I take, and then I got a couple of different fork ideas. d5's taken away, which is critical as well, because e3 is a weakness, right? It is a weakness, so we gotta be mindful of how the knight can try to get there. h5, f5, queen c7. So I could go for this. Let's see. Here, takes. We take everything off. The queen flies in. I'm down a piece. I'm up a piece for a pawn, I mean. I think I'm going to do that. So kick that guy. Do I want to take the knight, though? Maybe I don't, because that helps the queen activate. Okay, I'll castle right now. So I'm up, again, I'm up a piece for a pawn. My bishop here is not doing much. I got to get that guy involved very quickly. Bishop takes, no. Okay, I mean, if they want to trade, I'm okay with it. I guess I could go here. They can't take without dropping the bishop, but then that's threatened, that's threatened. I don't hate that position, but I don't think it's as good as just dropping. Okay. So again, I got to get this bishop involved quickly. Maybe queen f1. Just get pieces over here. Get pieces over fast. In fact, I'll do this right now. Queen or knight. No, I'll go queen first. Queen, rook, bishop. It is worth thinking about getting this rook in before my bishop, if I can pull it off. I mean, with the rook there, though, yeah, it might be time, guys. I suppose I could take this knight now and then take the bishop. If they take my bishop, I take. That looks okay to me. Okay, so you take, I take. And I just got two pieces for my rook, which is great. Or they could take here, but then I take and I got that pin. So they'd have to try to get some material back. Okay. Terrible pawn structure. And trades, which is good for me. Okay, so they're going that route. I'll snatch that bishop off. H2 is covered. Yeah, now king h8, I think that's a good idea, a good principle, trying to get the rook over, but I just check you, right? And then you got to run right back. So, yeah. I could think about that concept for myself. Nope, never mind. Terrible. That would be horrendous. Okay, so not doing that. Rook f1, they check, I take. Bishop g2, I'm fine. Here, that looks good. I guess, though, if they take my knight, they're threatening mate. So here, takes, here, check, here, I mate. Okay. Scanning for checks. I don't see anything. That's good. All right. They're offering me a perpetual at the very least. Obviously, we don't want that right now. Block that queen off. Still trying to find an opportunity to get my bishop in. I didn't like that they could take my knight and threaten mate. Yeah, I had bishop f4, but I just didn't like it. Check, I'm okay. In fact, this is more of an option now because h3 is protected. If they want to trade, I think that's fine with me. Does that do anything? Takes here. That would not. Okay, fine. Takes. Let's get that bishop involved. King h2 or king h1. Maybe king h1. Prevent that kind of stuff. Okay. Yeah, so we got 3 minor pieces. They have a rook more than we do. Okay. I'm down a little bit on the clock, but a rook couldn't handle 2 pieces, let alone 3. Okay, activate the king. I also have 2 bishops, which is nice, so they're not really going to be able to hide their pawns from my diagonal moving pieces there. Maybe knight g3, king f3. Okay, take that guy off. If here I have check, and then that. And we should be looking good. Okay, that's the weakness. I got to target that guy. Now that's the weakness. Let's target that guy. Nah, I don't want you having that. Okay, I got that covered with my bishop. Now that's the weakness. Let's attack that guy. And then that will be the weakness. Just go down the chain, right? All right, it looks like we got an English. I don't see the English all that often, personally. I see it sometimes. I remember once in an over-the-board tournament I got it. I'm sure I got it more than once, probably 3 or 4 times, but yeah, it's not all that common. I don't see it too much. Okay, so this is interesting. I'm guessing they're going to go g3. Maybe not. Interesting. Okay. So they're going for this idea. I'm not pushing. I'd push once you push, but then your knight can't jump in. Okay, I'll continue the hippo. Fianchetto next. All right. That would be a good diagonal. If you move the queen there, I just move and then I kick you. That's fine. Here, 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 here. That's next. Good spot for us to be in. I mean, yeah. E4, you can't do that yet. You could move a knight first. Yeah, this feels a little bit loose in that they couldn't defend it, but I guess they could push. And I don't know if I love that. I could go here as well. But I'm just gonna, no reason to do that, actually, because I would just do that anyway. Okay, I'll fianchetto. I mean, that's a good move, right? That's what we wanna do at some point, so we'll do it now. You're offering me a pawn, are you? You're giving me a pawn. Okay. Sure. Takes. They attack. We go there. That rook is a little bit annoying. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to try to play this calmly. That's a weakness. I don't need to take it right now. I need to get my queen off of this file fast. Okay, so this is fine. That is an idea. They don't do it. Let's castle. I don't think I want to give the queen that much activity freely. Castle. Okay, guys, I think I may have blundered because I think they had check. Did I have a way out of that? Maybe. They take... Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they should have did that, but okay. H5. I don't want to lose my bishop. Maybe here, but then a pin. I move this guy over. That way I can take the bishop, take the knight with my bishop if I need to. I'm also looking at c5. You got two defenders on it, so that feels pretty solid, but takes, not taking with the king. Heck no. I guess I could go for f5. Nope, never mind. Knight h5 check. No thanks. Okay, so they do go for the pin. Can I kick? I'm gonna go for that. Okay, they could pin me too. Well, they could attack my pin knight and go knight for knight. I don't think that's great for them though. I mean, it's becoming a smoothie blend on the chessboard in terms of pawns, but c5 is already very weak. I do got to be careful about forks in the future though, once this knight's not here. Right now I'm okay, but that is something to keep an eye on. If the knight runs, I can take, so that's great. Offer a trade, trade down. They're attacking me. I'm up material. Both of those point towards trading. I don't think we're going to see that. I think that gives up the advantage too easily. If f4 takes, I mean, I still have that, yeah. Okay, so I will take that with the queen. The knight's coming up next. Let's offer another trade to be annoying. Okay, I also get my queen off of that c-file. I mean, we could repeat. We could repeat. f4 is an idea. If I push, they push. Takes. Yeah, I don't like that. Okay. Okay, I'll step off. So that rook's very active. That queen's very active. Maybe e5 could be good to slow that piece down. No, because then rook b5 at the end of the line. Okay. That way they're both protecting each other. A little bit lower risk. I could always trade the bishops off as well. I'm a little hesitant about that, but that might be a good move. I don't know. Nah, I don't think so. Queen b4, huh? So we... offer a trade. I have this covered by my knight. That's a threat. No longer a threat. Still covered. Can't castle, even though I don't think they'd ever want to. And that is weak. That's a weak square, so I got to keep my eye on that. Maybe knight e5. Probably this one. This guy's kind of defending my king well. I'd rather keep this defender and use the knight that's not defending the king too well. Okay, so here, check. Here. I think I'm okay. I don't want to step somewhere where the queen can check my king. But now we have a skewer. Takes looks crazy with with the rook. Takes, check, here, check, here, check, here. Yeah, I think I'm okay. Kind of wild line, though. It almost looked like a perpetual for a second. It would be if I kept going back and forth, but I think I have H8, G7, G6. And we should be okay. Plus, they got to take on B4 at some point. Okay, so I'll take that guy. Forced. I think you got to take here now. If you go here, I get tempo against your rook. If here, I'll probably pin it. Because they're threatening mate. Ooh. Yeah, bro, I don't want you doing that. I'm good. I'm good on the mate. Okay. We attack, we pin it, we make it so that we're going to take with a pawn. Check here, or G8 maybe. Alright, now in that case, I'm just making sure. That looks fine. Check, I have a move. If you take the rook, I have checks, which is great. Yeah, I'll take the check, why not? Okay, we'll go there. We'll go there. Sure. Okay. There we go. All right. Thought we were going to get a copycatter for a second. Whoa. Now that... I'm not sure if I've seen that before. Maybe. I will continue with that. You can't take it, or else there's a pin. Yeah. Okay. Want to be prepared. F5. Okay, so this is a very advanced setup on their part. Knight F4 stands out because that's so weak. But I don't know if it's any good. Takes. Yeah, maybe not. I could push this. But then E5, I could take it. Let's take it. Trying to weaken their pawn structure a little bit. F4 is a little bit loose. There. I'd just run back though. Okay, I'll go here. If I could trade off that bishop, that would be great. That'd be good for me. Throwing that move in as well might not be the worst idea ever. Okay, so we got the open G file. They end up running... Okay, I still want to trade. They don't want a trade. F4, no. C4, no. Not yet. So I'll do this first, and then C4. Take, the knight takes because there's no pawns next to it. I'm threatening that pawn right now. You push. We have pushing. Taking makes that a weak pawn. Of course, the E file is wide open, but I think that's the best thing we got. So takes. If here the pawn, that's fine, because I have B4. And my bishop gets some activity. Okay, so that's the weakness, right? That's the base of this pawn chain right here. So I'm trying to take this or distract them so that I can get this guy. F1 will probably be the home for my king. This game is probably going to result in one of two things. Either I get wiped or we get to the end game and then I'm better because their pawns are scattered everywhere right now. Here, trade, but then that happens. Okay. They'll probably check. Okay, that move, interesting. That looks good to me. That looks good to me. That looks a little better though. Because that opens up the bishop. So the hippo bishop is activating fast. If check, that's an option. Takes here maybe. You got weaknesses. Or maybe I just take. I mean, yeah, you gotta keep an eye on b7 because I got my rook and bishop working very well in tandem towards that. You can't block with your bishop. You're underdeveloped here. My king's on e1, in fairness. Let's throw that out there. Takes. I don't think that's good for them. So they run back. Could I go there? I think so. I'm defending both. That's under fire. The knight's got to keep guarding it. Okay, so queen slides. Rook up. Okay. I'm up a pawn, but this position is madness. No way around it. Now I'm not up a pawn, but I think I might have that. Here. Here. Do I have mate? I don't think I do. Okay. So that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Does that work? I like it. Kind of. I think I like it. Queen b1. I could go here as well. Wait, rook a5. Does that trap the queen? That might trap the queen. Where can she go? Huh. He could take, yeah. Okay, so I get the queen. I'm attacking the rook now. Happy I saw that move. Guard our knight. That's still under pressure. Still a very complicated game. Okay, I'm gonna hide my king away from checks just in case I want to leave. That does not work, but that is something I'm eyeing up for sure, Okay, so we leave. A7 is threatened. Rerouting could happen too if the king runs. Tension there. This bishop's incredible. This one's okay. It's kind of babysitting that guy. I guess if maybe check. I'm gonna reroute. Okay, so they stop that, but now I get a6. Threatening mate. If they stop it, I have check. And I think that's it. You got two moves. The king can't move with our hippo bishop and our queen. The king can't move. So yeah, you can just block with the rook and the bishop. That's it. Okay. Here we go. We'll see what they do. Yeah, that was a very interesting game there. Very like abnormal setup, very aggressive. But you just got to rely on the principles, right? 92. Okay. Okay, so we have a great bishop. I'm happy about that. Now we don't, but it's still good. It's still good. It's just not as, it's not what it was. All right, now they're in an Auerbach. So probably f4 the next move if they go here. Now that is interesting because they have that tension. I'm going to go here. If h5, I have that concept of kicking and then here, attacking both. So, okay, they go there. We can... Let's tuck our knight. If bishop d6 trying to break things open, I might just lock that up, make sure the bishop's going to be stuck there forever. If they push, they just did my job for me. Thank you for that. Okay, my weakness is here and here. So they got to try to get a knight to one of those spots. That's what I'd recommend to them. For me, that's the target. Of course, they just covered it. But we want to start attacking, right? So bishop c1. G5 takes. Here they run. I could go here now. Here. We'll start with that. See where they end up going. So they run back. Now, yeah, it's a little bit of a lockup situation because I am unable to get in. They can get in here, but I take them right off. I could castle. I could go here. I think I'm actually going to castle. With this particular setup, I'm not going to be able to break it open unless I try h4. Takes, check. Since the king is there. That's interesting, to say the least. You know what? Let's try it. Okay, I'm giving up a pawn if they did take, but I'd get some compensation there for sure. But they don't. Here, no. Because of h4, it's a little wobbly. Okay, I'll go g5. Now, if they push to h5, that pawn is, you know, it is weak. They don't quite have mate or anything, though. Takes, 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 check. They run, they're okay. If they push, I take. So they really can't push this. If they push that, that is such a weakness for them. g5. So the question is, how do I add the pressure, build the tension, play calm? I'll start with this. This is never good for them. Their knight's terrible. Yeah, that's not a good move. Now this is a hole. This is an outpost. And we can start jumping in there. They have the same thing, but I don't know. Check. Could go there, but then I get pinned. Okay, we'll go check. Check. Here looks playable. Okay, we'll do that. If I can get f5, and that'd be great. So they're probably going to take. f5 would close that bishop off. It would make g6 weaker, which makes h5 weaker, which I'm already targeting twice. So they got to take. If they don't take, I'm going for that pawn on g6. That works too. Something with tempo, right? Okay, that makes f5 a little less scary for them, I'd say. I could check. They can't run over. Yeah, so let me go check. Check. If they run back, then I take the bishop, and then there's a fork. Okay, so we have that fork available. I will quickly snag that rook, push my f-pawn, trying to target that guy. Knight g4 probably comes. Here, here. Do I castle? No, my king's pretty safe in the center. I'll step up. It's less safe here. I don't think it's as safe there. Boom. Okay, so f5 falls. g4 is getting wobblier. Wobblier? That's not a word, but I don't think it is. By the second. I'm up 2 points. I'm up, what, the exchange? So I could give up the exchange and take a pawn. Then I'm up a pawn. The attacking chess continues. It's kind of what I'm leaning towards. I'll start with that. I mean, check is definitely a possibility if they let me get that in. But if the king runs, I'm thinking we probably take. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay, that's the threat. If they stop it, rook over, takes all day long, and then I have a passer, they don't. I also, my bishop is on the opposite color of all these pawns. Theirs is on the same. That's nice. Does this work? Here, check. If takes, that's mate. If the queen takes, though, yeah, that's not the same thing. But I do have check. But then they move. I'm thinking too much. Okay. Okay, let me activate the king just a little bit. And then knight d6. Now that this is protected, knight d6 is an option. I could do that, but I probably got to stop a3 for knight b4 first. So I will just throw that move in just in case I do go for a trade, because I don't want to let that knight in and start taking everything. Okay. The G, ooh. You know, I like the G pawn, but my king would be so active. So you know what? Let's do that. Let's get in there. They can't stop me. If I do this, they can. It's still good, but yeah, and they don't have a route now with their knight. If my pawn was here, I could be in big trouble. But I'm feeling okay because this is covered. Okay, I'll attack that. Attack that. Here. Don't want them taking this guy. Okay, push. Run over. I can't pre-move because they might try to sneak that in there on me. I could pre-move that. Okay, we supported that down. Check. Okay, let me plug up that pawn, and then I'm just going to do the knight's length away technique. Always move a knight's length away. Just keep copying that king wherever it goes. Okay, that does make it a little harder. Okay, I'll copy you, bro. Copy. Copy. Boom. Boom. And that's a wrap. Okay. Okay, we fianchetto that bishop. Oh, they're taking their time here. Probably trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing. All right, d3. Boom. h3 today. Tuck. That queen is okay. They're not taking the full center. That's something to keep an eye on. Okay, they are looking towards f4 though. Let me castle here, just so I have the king off of that. Okay, knight g4. So what are they looking at here? Should probably kick that bishop out at this point. See if I can distract that pawn from f4, because that's their whole game plan. g5 as well. Here, no. Okay, I'll tuck the knight. That's a weak square. Okay, run over, cover h4. I'm also attacking e5 3 times. I don't really think it matters because they have so much defense on it, but something to keep an eye on. Maybe c4? h4 actually could be very dangerous, so I gotta plug that up. Takes, 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 queen takes. They're threatening mate. If I run, no. Okay. That's the threat. Kind of. I don't know if I want to give up a knight at this stage, though. I mean, I'd get the exchange, but then, yeah, it's pretty dangerous attack they have. Okay. c4. Okay, so they run with the rook. There's a little bit less tension on the h-file now because of that. Kick and take could work. Let me add a little bit of pressure towards that pawn. If you push, I take. And take, and that's fine. d5 is weak. Taking, I don't care. I got g3 defended. But something to keep an eye out on, though. Like, if I move this bishop, maybe the knight could take, and they're going to break it open. Yeah, I mean... I'm not taking with the e-pawn. No way. No chance, brother. d4 could fall. I'm guessing it will. It's kind of funny. I got 2 passed pawns. They got 1 passed pawn. And pretty much everything is still on the board. That is weak, though. So I could target it. Look to take it off. Or maybe that? I don't know. Okay, they didn't do it. They took that way. I can't take with the pawn. I'm taking with the knight. Have this all you want. Now that looks to threaten this. Obviously, that's terrible for me. Can I get away with that? I think I can. If you take it, I'm going to get both your rooks for both my knights. Here. Is that a good move to throw in? It's okay. Is that a good move to throw in? It's okay. All right, I'm going to take that rook, and then it's just, can we survive? That's what it comes down to now. Okay, trades are what I want. Queen g6. They run in. c5? No, the bishop activates. Okay, let me... I'm going to try to keep that bishop stuck, because that bishop is very dangerous. So I got to keep this pawn safe, so that, like, if I push, that's just helping them. Oh my gosh. Why'd I even think of that move? Okay, so we got 2 on it. I don't think... I mean, they could go here, maybe. a5. Takes. I don't want to give it my defender. Here could work, I guess. No, still not good. c1. This is a hard... I mean, I'm okay here. It's just a hard position to defend. Queen g6. Okay. I like that move. Threatening a trade, ultimately. h5 is hanging. Okay, so that knight has a little less support now. If I get kicked... Okay, I don't get kicked here. Yeah. That was a mistake. Okay, so the advantage in development has dwindled because of that piece. All right, that's pinned now. Probably got to move up. I'm looking at this too, but I think I take. Rook F1 ideas. I'm still +1. Still +1 in material. Okay, so we still got a chance. C5. Sure. I got to get some activity here. Okay, that's a pin. Trying to get the knight on D7. F3 is defended well. Okay. Okay. Out of 5 maybe? Maybe not. If knight d4, I probably gotta go rook f2. That's the best thing I see. If here, maybe I kick. Okay, we're getting closer on the clock. Okay, we kick that guy. Bishop's got to go somewhere. Okay, keep the tension. Whoever said chess is easy, they're just wrong. I just disagree. I do. I'm sorry. Okay, the queen can't leave the knight. Okay, I tuck. I got 2 passers. That's good. Passers are nice. Okay, I'll start pushing that guy up. Okay, I'll push again. Take. Yeah, good game there. Very tense battle. Let's take a quick look at this. Okay, so it likes knight bc. So at the breather moment here, it likes knight bc3 the most. Makes sense. Okay, I like that. I mean, I can always play d4 later, so definitely a good idea to keep in mind. Activating your knight, looking at the space they give you. I think I got a little bit over concerned about this. I probably should. And ultimately, this is a good defender for that. So I got to keep that idea in mind as well. Okay, little tidbit there for us. All right, 1, 2, 3, h3. I can't tell if they're gonna do knight c3 or not. Okay, they're not. So okay, we're back into our regular hippo. Now we're in an Averbach. A lot of Averbachs. Becomes more and more popular the higher your rating. That's the first tournament game I ever played against an FM. He played the Averbach. I actually had a better position coming out of the hippo, and then I I messed it up because it was my first game ever years ago. I was still learning it. Yep, so it's the Overbox, so I'm playing F5. If they take, I take. That helps my king castle. Taking in here, that's not great. So I take with the knight. Okay, they move their knight. We can add pressure to E4. I mean, I'm guessing F3 will be played. They push. Okay, that's not something I see all the time. Takes, takes. I could take first or just jump in. I'm going to jump in. Jump in there. That's a weakness. Target, whatever you want to name it. If they end up taking, okay, I now have F5 for my knight. Here, here, here. Yeah, that's crazy. Wild pawn structure that we're about to hit. I suppose I could take, and then go up a pawn. That's just, you know, it's cool. It's cool. It's not bad. Okay, let's do that. These are weak, that's for sure. But so is B2 at the end of it. If they don't take, I'd probably just take on D4 next. And just take and take and take and take and trade down anyway. Okay, well. Sure. If I take with the knight, that is a lot of pressure they have on me. I'm kind of leaning towards... I guess I could take with the knight, because if I could take the bishop off and then escape, but then bishop c4, I can't castle. I could get rid of it. I don't like that either, though, with bishop c4. Okay, I think I'm going to take this and then castle. If I have time. Castle. They'd have 3 attackers. I'd have 3 defenders. I could take now. They take. I go here. They prevent me from castling. It's just my king's kind of stuck. Maybe I just step off now. I could step off now. They have 2 attackers, but the queen's leading. Yeah, so I'll step off the file. Castling queenside is an option. And yeah, if bishop c4 now, I don't have to take. I can go rook d8 and go from there. So I need 1 less defender than they have an attacker, thanks to the fact that their queen is in front of their rook. Yeah, so I'm thinking we defend it. I could castle. I could castle here. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go crazy here. Because my king feels okay. If I castle this direction as well, h6 is weak. And I mean, that's a pin, so that's not even an option. So let's castle. I don't want to get my king stuck in the center too long. I was looking at queen e2. I believe against that, I can trade down when I get the chance. Okay, that's an isolated pawn. Their knight is not the best. It's not the worst knight ever, but it's not the best knight. And then we could start just trading down. I could kick the bishop first. Let me do that. Kick the bishop. And then start trading off those rooks fast. There's check, though. I don't like that. h5. a4. I keep it closed. I don't want to give them too much energy on that side of the board. Here, if they get the pawn, I don't like it. Okay, so I'm just going to start with that. Kind of keeps their knight locked in too. That's a concept. Yep. Okay, I'll go check. Take this guy off. Wow, my pawn structure is a mess. But I'm up 2 pawns. Here. Okay. Threaten the bishop. I'm also looking to get my queen to b6. Kind of defend everything. Rook d2 is an idea. But if they go queen c2, I'm not going to have time to do that because of the checkmate threat. So I'd have to go to b6. And then maybe bishop h6. Maybe rook d3. Just keep trying to put pressure on that e3 pawn. Okay, well, since he did that, we can jump in there. Queen b6, does that work? I don't know. I don't think it does. Okay, I don't like those ideas. H6, still an idea. The knight really can't move now. Okay. I like that move. Okay, about time. Pushing the pawn to, you know, king b8 as well. You know, that's a good prophylactic move. Yeah, just get the king off. Okay, we have capturing. Maybe queen d3. King a7. Queen b6 is solid. I'll go for that. If you check me, that's defended. So g6 is guarded. e3's hanging. If the king moves, if I go bishop c6, they take. So I got to check first. Queen f6. Okay, in that case, thanks for the pawn. Check. Pawn up. Great activity with our hippo bishop. Sure, I'll just keep pushing. I was going to take, but that gives the queen too much activity. Okay. All right, we got what? Okay, d4. We go with a little fianchetto. Pawn up. Okay, so it looks like we're getting a London here. Maybe a Stonewall, we'll see. Yep. Okay, so they're looking towards f5 potentially. I'm going to look towards g4 with my knight because they just weaken that in a major way. So we're probably both going to start jumping in here at some point. Yep. Okay. Knight f5 is also on my radar. I'll just play that. Here. Yeah, I suppose if here they don't have to take, right? They can go queen over. Okay, so maybe I got to run back. So I have my 3 here. And then I can start putting pressure on c5. My knight is not going to be able to get to c6, but I like this knight. It's obviously very strong. It's preventing bishop e3. Even if they castle queenside and they go here, there's, you know, there's opportunities there. Okay, so I'm keeping my eye on this. Again, you see a Stonewall, it can very quickly just turn into an Austrian. So play it like an Austrian. c5. Okay. Check. I could block or run. I'd probably block. If I leave, usually with the knight on c6, I can, this is not possible, but takes, push, their attack is over, but they have great bishop pair. I could do that if I'm really feeling crazy. But they push. I take. They take, push. That's just so dangerous. Okay, I'll tuck the queen. Now I got a couple of different little pawn moves I can look at. Okay, so they want to get rid of my knight. I'm okay with that. That's fine. Here. Here. They go there. Takes. I'm pinned. Yeah, I'm going to keep my bishop looking at f5. Keep that tension there. c4 I don't think does too much for me, honestly. I could force a queen trade. Let me add some more pressure though. If you go there, okay, I move. And you got less tension towards f5. Takes. We trade down like there's no tomorrow. Takes. Let me start with this. See what they do with it. Okay, so they want to trade. Okay. So d4 is probably going to be a target. If I go here, though, they push. So maybe I lock that guy in. If they push, neither side has pawn breaks, like at all. Okay, castle. Bishop there. Bring the rook over. Does that help me? I think that does. That weakens this, but I got that covered. And now the general game plan is get this bishop involved, maybe knight f5 at some point. Just play solid chess. Ooh, I guess that's an issue though. Here. Interesting. Well, I suppose if they kick me, I don't have to take the rook. I could go rook c6. Yeah, rook c6. Okay, I'm at a little bit of pressure towards that pawn. Okay, so they're playing aggressively on that side. Interesting. Might as well step the king off, get off of that file. Maybe I double up here. Sure. Okay, I'm trying to force trades right now. So something's gonna fall. They're attacking me, so I gotta trade now. Okay. Here looks good. And then take. Yeah, they shouldn't check. So I take. If they attack me, I have an escape square. Rook c3. That's a very weak square on their part. Little, we can fly, fruit fly over there. Okay, rook f8. So we got that defended. Might have to defend again. It's wild. But they can't add more attackers because I have g5 covered. They can do that though. That's true. Here. But then bishop g6 is nasty. Here. Okay, good move by them. Okay, I move my bishop. Rook c3 is probably coming next. If I see like knight g6 or something. Yeah, in that case, that's fine. Feels a little passive, but that's my game plan. I don't think they can stop this. I mean, they could stop with knight d2, but yeah, they're not able to stop the rook from coming in. All right, so we attack the rook. Where's the rook going to go? If here I win, right? Because bishop g6. Check. Get something for the rook, then take. Okay. The knight, or excuse me, the pawn will be in such a spot where the king is not inside the square. You can't get inside the square. Black wins. Okay. Here we go. All right, so 2-pawn center, pretty chill. I'll play h6. Okay. Here we go. All right, so we got our hippo set up. I am liking this move right now. If h4 I took. Now I'm threatening to trap your knight. Big threat there. A lot of players don't know about that. Now, that move... Oh gosh, here we go again. Very complicated. Take... I don't know. I mean, g4... They gotta take, right? They gotta take. I take. They take. I think I'm good. I could calmly take that pawn, but bishop takes e6, the queen flying in. I don't think that's good. Okay, so let's get rid of that knight. Here, that surprises me. Here, no, we're just trading down. It's just trading down, and then I'm up a pawn. That's the safe option. The other option is taking with the queen. They can't take with the queen. If they take with the knight, I mean, I like either position, but I might as well trade, right? Might as well. And then we're up a pawn. Knight f4 is an option with our hippo bishop coordinating. Okay, I'll start with that. The only thing I'm a little bit concerned about is, like, let's say there, if I, well, actually, I was worried about d5, but I could take the rook. So here, I could start with taking the bishop. Okay, so I think I'm okay. Because I got this opening up. Running again? Sure. We're just going in circles, bro. Okay, that is not checkmate. I'll just eye up that king real quick. Let's force you right back real quick. Okay, that threatens mate. Alright. Okay, a little Sicilian defense player here, it's looking like. That's what I assume. Like, if they're playing c5 and move 1, but I could be wrong. Maybe they just, you know, they see that weird move and they play c5. I don't know. Okay, here we go. That is good. That is also playable. Let me do this first. Okay, you are handing me the d5 pawn. That is rarely a good idea, bro. Yes, you get the g5 pawn, but now you got to deal with this. And I get nice central squares out of it. I'll tech. Maybe not. Okay, I'll go here first. You can't go there. Okay, now we can tech. F5 is weak. Can't push the F pawn. You are going to move now. Okay. Here, I could jump in. See where that queen wants to go. I think queen g6 is your only safe move, right? Anywhere else is not safe. So queen g6. I want to go take, check, but the king's not on g8. Here. I could trade down, but why? My pieces are way better than theirs. Queen f3 looks mobilizing. Am I worried about that? Not really. Have it all you want, bro. Yeah, okay. Yeah, if I can castle queenside and then get this rook over, that would be great. Yeah, so knight d4. I gotta take it somehow. What's the best way to take it? Takes. I might as well go pawn takes and then pawn takes. So now I'm up a pawn. The hippo bishop is close to breaking things open. Castling queenside is still a good option. Part of me wants to think about this, so I'm not on that diagonal, but this is fine. Okay, pushing right now doesn't make a big difference. It would actually be losing. But this is something to think about. Okay, rook's hanging. You got to move your rook. If you move the knight, I take it. So the rook moves. We go. Which rook's better? Probably this one. Yeah. Okay, they're plugging up the pawn so that my bishop can't activate. Part of me wants to sack, but I don't think that's sound. Okay, start bringing attackers into this thing. G6. I run? No. That's a little bit of a dead end, it feels like. Okay, I'll go here. You can't push the F pawn. En passant, the bishop activate. Ooh, I don't know, bro. Are you sure? I want to check, but the queen could go back. Yeah, I might as well just take this. Pin the knight, or attack the pin knight, that is. If I go here, here, takes, here, bishop back, nope, here. Yeah, attack the knight with a minor piece. The less valuable your attackers, the better attackers they are. Right? Like if I could have a pawn there, I'd do it in a heartbeat. All right, well that gives me check, check. All right, 1, 2, well, okay. All right, I could go pterodactyl, I'm good though. I could go neo-modern, I'll go hippo. I mean, this is a hippo speedrun, right? Okay, another Averbach. Guys, the Averbach, if you're at this rating range, you got to know how to play against it, okay? In fairness, one of y'all, maybe it was 8-bit, I'm trying to remember. One of y'all was saying that you actually prefer playing against the 3-pawn center because it's a little bit more straightforward in terms of the game plan. Honestly, I hear that. Like, against the Averbach, you get this setup, and then you play F5. Like, I can't even remember the last time against an Averbach that didn't happen. It's very rare. Okay, queenside. That is a very good move by them. Not a lot of people find that. Okay, so now a6 and b5 is on our radar. Knight f6 is on our radar. I think I'm going to do this. Start dancing in there, seeing if I can get that bishop, seeing if I can get them to over push. I'm happy to see that right now. Here I push. I'm still looking at that. If knight back, that would prevent knight g4. But then there's other stuff I'd have. c5. Okay, I mean, yeah, I'll just keep doing my thing. If check, I mean, I could run with the king. Just keep an eye out on that diagonal as well. Check. I don't really want to push and lock up everything forever. Okay, move the king. Who made up the rule that you can't castle win and check? That's an interesting rule. That's interesting. I like it, but it's interesting. Okay, takes. I guess you could say that about a lot of rules for chess, right? Okay, I don't think that was the best call for them. I mean, I actually liked c5, but taking, I don't know. The c file's open, but... And now we'll start attacking. Let's go here. b5, b4. Yeah, I don't know why you'd want to open your own side up where your king is. You should try to break open the king side there. Of course, once you played h4, my knight came to g4. It was kind of hard to do anything. Interesting stuff. The bishop going there, nope. I think you got to go here, or f1. Yeah, going here or here, I just get tempo. That doesn't help you. Okay, so we're pushing. Rook c8 could be helpful. I'm guessing we'll see king b1 at some point. Now that move is a mistake by them. That's a mistake because now I got all of my pawns facing towards c4. Great attacking game. I want to get, well, if this knight was here, I could get it there. It's here, but good activity towards c4, right? Their center's locked up. This knight is a little bit on its own, so I do got to be careful I don't get that guy trapped. Maybe h5, like if knight g1, maybe I got to go here so that my knight can actually run away. Okay, so they're finally moving their king to b1. I'll start moving this guy over. If they take, I'll take away from the center. Probably. Most of the time, that's the right move. I could also go for their good bishop, but yeah, it's not bad. Okay, h5. So that leaves us with kicking the bishop. Adding pressure. I will say this knight is very uncomfortable. Probably, maybe should have thought about h5 earlier. I don't know. Takes. No, they don't. They go here. So the knight's wanting to run away. I could always save it at that point. Let me. Well, kinda. Not really. Kick. No. Here would threaten to trap their knight. Let me do that. And my queen's defended, so you don't really have any like sack ideas. I just take. So I got to start attacking, because if I give them too much time, my knight will just be donezo. Okay. B4. Yeah. Okay. I gotta play actively here. Takes, I take. I'm okay with getting the 2 pieces out of that. Here, maybe? Could be good. Queen b4. Boom, boom. Something like that. Takes. I know I'm dropping that pawn, but I gotta do something here. Okay, boom. No, that's not good. That's not bad, though. Okay, let me start attacking that queen. Seeing where they want to go with it. Really, they're okay with a draw? I'm kind of surprised by that. Yep, okay, there we go. Queen f3, so we could move this king over. Huh. Yeah, queen b4 is still probably my best game plan. Okay. They go in. Taking, I don't think that's going to be fast enough. I could give up my rook and then see if they can defend it properly. All right. H6 will drop. We'll take a look at the breather moment in this game too. Yeah, they're down on the clock there. Okay. Okay. Rook c3 is an idea. There we go. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Yeah, so this is a good setup by white. Very strong. It's about not quite +1, but close. I ended up going bishop b7. That's a good move. That's a good move. Okay, yeah. So when they're typically going to give you something, guys. If this pawn pushes, take what they give you, right? 1, 2. And should I have taken that? It likes my move just fine. It's saying I could have took this way or this way. I could have captured. I could have. I decided not to. I like this move more. And okay, c6 is the best move. Very rare we do this in the hippo, but yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay, this is all fine. Okay, the second white did that, we're better. A mistake. Interesting. That's a mistake. It wants me to think about this. And then probably taking, yeah. That is something I need to strengthen. That idea came up in the advanced course when you have this kind of setup. Taking the knight and then taking here. I need to strengthen that part of my hippo game because I'm, you know, I would like to think most of the time I see when a piece is hanging or when it's defending something directly. But then I think oftentimes when I'm looking at this, my brain will go, okay, I take the knight, they take, I'm trapped. And it will just stop there without processing that, oh, wait, I can take this and go, hey, take the knight, it's fine, I'll take your bishop. Right? You run away, I take. You run away, I take again. You take, I take. So I know the concept of that, but my calculation in these types of positions against an Averbach where things are kind of crazy like this, I'll see this and then I'll think, but I gotta look at that move. I gotta keep looking down that line. Okay, that's my takeaway from that game. Let's see. So white was better here the whole time since I missed that idea. White's winning. Yeah, knight takes d5 is the best move. Bishop d7 check. Nasty. Nasty move. What the heck? Oh, we just go a3. Okay, Stockfish. We get it. And then white has a slight edge here. It's like 0.7 for them, but the clock got them. Okay. All right. Okay, 2101. Here we go. See what this guy does. Okay. Here we go again with the Slav. Looking at b4, b3. Okay, so they're leaving this open. That is a possibility for them. I do have time to do this, though. Okay, so I have time for that. I can start running over to pressure e5. Now, I kind of want to do that, but I guess they just push, right? And at the end of the day, they could strengthen that pretty easily, and then I'm left with the weakness that I didn't need to make. Castling automatically eliminated. Here, yeah. I mean, this is fine. That's fine. I'll do that. Slow hippo, good hippo. Very nice formation by them. Okay, I'll eye that up. I'll just, I'll keep an eye on that. That's one plus of playing knight f3. You get a little queen move in there. Now, can I take that? I think I can, guys. Yeah, but then your bishop hangs. And now the knight could go back, but queen, I guess I could go there too, but that feels safer for some reason. Queen c3. Okay, so I'm up 4 points. I'm just up a piece now. I'm going to quietly move back to my home of d2. Just move back there. Yeah, they blundered away a pawn and then a piece. Okay, so yeah, look, black's got to try to play crazy. That's your only option. You're down material, play crazy, see what happens. Now, I want to trade and play simple. I'd like to castle, but I can't. I'll slow king walk. I very rarely do this, but I'm up material. I have time. I can play calm, play chill, and let them have to make all those crazy moves. Okay. I'll lock it up. Now we're facing that way. Sure. I don't want to get forked. What could I do? Take. That looks fine. I'm typically not a big fan of this, but again, I'm up a piece, so trades are good. C3, they kick. There. They defend it. With the rook. 3 defenders on it. Wow. That's a lot of defense. Plus C5 and B3. Never mind. So I don't want to push that. That's too weakening. Too weakening. Okay, you know what I might do, guys? I might take and take to simplify this game a little bit. Maybe. I'll just go here. Alright, I could attack both. Let me do that. If they take the pawn, it's check. If they take the knight, I take, and then I'm close to a queen trade. If I want that. Here, here, here. Oh, I want a queen trade now. Okay. That surprises me. Takes, takes. My position's very awkward. I think I'm gonna give a little bit of material back. Not all of it. Go from +4 to +2. And play it from there. Okay, might as well get a pin out of it. Take, 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 take. Okay, we're +2. Okay. I got 2 passed pawns, so these are the pawns I got to start chucking down the board. 3 on 3 on this side, pretty boring. Takes. No. Okay, I'll attack it again. Here, here, here. That all looks good. If I go there, they take. Do I care? A little bit. A little bit. Okay, that threatens this now. Checks, I'm okay. I got a knight there. That's also a good move. Okay, we'll take. We'll push. Oh, don't want to drop my knight. Okay. Okay, bishop back. If here, here. Knight e7 check, I'm good. My bishop really can't force the issue though. Where can the knight go? Okay, in that case, here. Start activating my king. Let's see, we'll go here, here. That way if they take, I have c7. Knight b6. The knight's imprisoned. Okay, that's a good move. Let's see. Wow, both the pawns dropped. Crazy. We'll take a look at that endgame too. It's a draw, but I'm down on time. Okay, we'll see if we can get lucky. I should have won that game. Okay, good game. All right, guys. I played pretty well up until the end game. I'm up 2 pawns. I shouldn't lose that. Completely winning here. All right, where'd I mess up? This is a winning. This is winning. Ooh, really? That move right there. What a trip. Endgames are a trip because it's like one move, you're done. And there's a lot of positions where if you have 6 options, if you find 5 of them, you're winning. If you find one of them, you're winning. If you play anything else, you're losing or drawing. I guess I'm supposed to go here and then activate. Yeah, because the knight has a hard time getting there. Interesting. So stop the king from getting in, and the knight can't. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, messed that up. It's a little hard with that little time on the clock too, but I gotta win that, guys. I gotta win that one. Okay, we're gonna keep pushing though. Okay. Here we go. Oh. My guy taking his time. Okay, bishop g2, d3. Okay, so standard setup. Everything looks normal. Okay, that doesn't. That could be a shift in the game. Okay, e5 has 1 defender on it right now. Okay, I tuck the knight. This is another Averbach type position. Here we go again. I'm going to castle first though. And then f4. I can get away with that because there's no battery RAM. Now I'll push. Threatening f5. Boom, boom, I win. Or I'm winning. Oh. Apparently they wanted to do what I just said. Okay. Bishop's trapped. Okay. Yeah, we run away. So we're up a piece for a pawn. Got to stay on it. But our bishop is great. Okay, so they got 2 attackers there. Takes, 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 takes. I offer a trade. We're in an endgame again. That's fine with me. I could also kick. But let me just take this. I mean, they're threatening to trade ultimately. Could take again. They take though. Never mind. Okay, queen f3. I'd probably take with the bishop there to make sure e4 is defended. I also have bishop g4 ideas. Maybe knight c4. Defend that pawn. If b5, I think that could work. I guess here and here. Takes. Let's try it. Okay, so I'm up 3 right now. Even right now. Then we take. Assuming they want to check, I don't know. I mean, the knight's pinned. Knight's pinned. I think taking with the rook is best. If they take, it's like almost checkmate. So, and they wouldn't do that anyway, but because of the knight. Okay, knight e5, so we go here. Or do we just take the rook? Let's just take the rook. That's fine. Okay. All right. Okay. Two pawn, 2 knight. Classical type setup. I'll go a6. Push my pawn. Yeah, it seemed like they were maybe going queenside there. All right, so now we got a fianchetto, knight d7, c5. That's the plan. Okay, if the bishop goes here, fine, we'll tuck. But if the bishop stays here, we're going c5. Yep. Okay, now this is always interesting. You can either follow the principle of, you know, oh, there's a pawn next to it, take with the pawn, or take with the knight. I think either's fine. I'm going to take with the pawn here to stick with that principle. And we got a good bishop. Their bishop just improved. If I tuck, they could offer a trade. I don't think I like that. Here could work. Here could work. That's okay. I mean, it's not bad. It's just makes my bishop not good anymore. Here, are they wanting to push? What's the idea? What are you doing, bro? I guess maybe it's trying to get there. I could push and push. That's crazy. I like that. So that can be an idea too. Kick and kick. You got to go c4 first. That way. Because this doesn't need support, right? But this does, since there was something looking at it. Okay. We go... I think we're going kick, right? Kick. Here. Kick. Here. We fly in like there's no tomorrow. Okay. So that's all wiped out. I do got to keep an eye on rook d1 ideas as well. I could always take and then check as well. Don't think I need to, but tactical shot, especially if the knight ever leaves, then sure, of course, why not? Boom, boom, takes. I could take. They're going there, here. Okay, I think I'm gonna push. Now the question is, do I go to a5 or do I just take? This is not a good place for the knight because now the rook is unable to put pressure. So my knight is actually feeling very comfortable now. Queen a5, takes. That's not the best. Let's c3. Okay, so I'll take that. Here. Looks pretty good to me. That also looks good. Maybe this next. Okay, so they lock our bishop out. Check. To start. See where that king wants to go. I think you got to go to d1. Yeah, b1. No, that's not going to work. Now I could take and then knight c5 or something. Okay, that's the idea. Bishop d3, yeah. So they're supporting that. I could take here. I could also improve my knight to f5. There we go. I could also improve my rook. Just improve the rook. I could also castle. Yeah, if you take my pawn, I'm going to win your knight. Okay, so the king is now going, hey, I'm going to switch sides. Interesting. Looking towards that knight. They improve. I probably got to just improve myself. Thankfully for me, their pawn structure is atrocious. That's good. I think that gives me takes and then takes, or rook takes. Yeah, the knight's falling. Unless they move the knight. They could do that. Yeah, so they move the knight there. Check. Looks good. I could go check again. I don't need to, though. Just take this pawn. That way, if the king runs, I can force an endgame. Okay. Oh. Okay. Here we go. Not a lot of Tigers Moderns yet. I wonder if we'll run into that or not. I'd say my usual blitz ratings, like, I think it's like 25 something, and I get a lot of Tiger Modern games. All right. Here we go. Okay. Y'all know what we're doing, man. Just hippoing it up. Don't mind me, just hippoing. Okay, that's very odd. I don't see that very often, but there's a bishop stack and d4, so okay. I mean, there's logic behind it because d4 naturally has more defense with the queen on d1, and people often stack on the e file, which makes e4 even weaker than it usually is, but hey, again, not very common. Okay, good move. So they're going for the knight swing idea. I can take the space they give me, tuck my queen, go from there. Yeah, so if they take, now I take with my knight because there's nothing next to it. And I think I'm going to be up a pawn. Okay, do I want the knight or the bishop? I mean, I'd like to have both, but, you know, I don't think that's an option. I'm going to take the knight. That knight is so annoying because it really covers those light squares. All right, so we're up a pawn. We got good structure. Takes, nah, not really worth it. Knight d5 is an improving solid move. b5 is a solid move. Let me start with that. Just take a little space. Maybe bishop d5? Anytime the e-pawn goes away in the hippo, I'm always looking at these squares. Okay, we'll kick you. f5 often becomes a lot easier too without the pawn on e4. Is that too aggressive though? I don't know. It feels a little loose. Feels a little risky. I'll just improve the queen, develop a little bit more. I'm keeping an eye on that knight. If they move the queen, I will take that guy in a heartbeat, probably. So maybe not in a heartbeat, maybe in 2. Because that's terrible pawn structure. But e4 is weakened. Or d5, really. Yeah, that's too weak to pass up. Here? Let me solidify first. So my pawn structure is actually pretty much perfect. Theirs is perfect over here, but this is terrible. So they could try to fix it with f4. Yeah, bishop b3. Okay, I can't do that yet. I could go here. It's a little concerning, but I think I'm okay with f5, f4. This is all solid. That is hanging, so I got to keep an eye on that knight. Okay, I'll push. I'd love to get f4 in to just completely block off that diagonal. Of course, this one opens up, but I could also take, or put some pressure on f3 before taking. I like that idea. Okay, bishop g5. That pins the knight. If I push, takes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about all that. I could take twice. That's not that great, though. Maybe, you know what? I like this move. Queen back. Defending the knight, pinning the pawn. That's an idea now. I like that move. A little fianchettoed queen. Never hurt anybody, right? So we got pressure on f3. Even if you defend it, who cares? We take. So what are you going to do? Yeah, now we got 3 attackers on it. You have no defenders. I could check and then take. I could just take. I could take with check. If I take with check, here, rook lift, king back, pawn up. I mean, it's definitely nice, but okay. I think what I got to do here, guys, is just take this. If they want to take, I can check. Maybe not with the bishop, but I can improve the rook. If f3, no. f4 falls. If here, no. Okay, I'll do this right now. That way, if they take, the bishop's pinned. They do that. Okay, we can add pressure. If here, we got here. Okay, I'm threatening that now. Boom, boom. Same thing. Same thing. Boom, boom. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, trading the rooks is good to start. Start taking everything. C3's hanging. Here we go. All right, y'all. We're there. Win this game. And we're at the 2100 mark. Let's get it. Some good games in this video here. I've been having fun with this. Very good competition, very good players. And, you know, it's like, gosh, like chess is such a hard game. Like the difference between a 2000 and a 2500 is really not that much. There is a big difference in a sense, especially with the longer time controls, but it really just comes down to tiny little differences. You're not going to see in a classical game, you're not going to see Hikaru Nakamura up a queen and a rook against a GM. You're going to see him up a pawn, and then he's going to convert that pawn in the endgame. F4. I could do that. Let me just take a breath. Improve the knight. And then F4 maybe. Maybe castling. Maybe. So that would be good. Okay, I'll castle to start. Then F4. I castled first, just, you know, often players are more comfortable to castle when we haven't taken up all that space yet. Now F5. Can't go there. They're going to take. I mean, everyone takes, right? I guess they don't have to, but then we're back into our great attacking chess formation. Okay, here we go. F5, G4, knight G3. The knight could get trapped if they're not careful. Okay, so tuck that guy. Pushing looks good. If here, yeah, I got to tuck first. That way G4 is protected. They should probably run away with the knight and start trying to control some dark squares. Yeah, that move is a little questionable to me. I think we can tuck. G5, definitely worth considering, although knight H5 is a little bit annoying. So tucking this first is still good to cover H5 twice. They're obviously looking towards C4 with all this. In general, it's a little bit dubious to do this because I could do A4, but right now I'm okay with pushing. Push. Here looks dangerous at the very least. That's attacked. If I go here, here, here. Maybe. I mean, that's the safe move, right? H4 is the safe move. Boom, boom. Here, takes. I mean, I'm going down 2 pawns. There's nothing super concrete there. I'll just take a little more space. If there, H5 might be worth it. There. That looks good. I kind of like G6 as well. Okay, because they can lock it up, but that's funny. The guy just, by the way, the guy was just asking. Shout out to I Love Chess. Me and Kantel Hedges. Yeah, he just asked if I'm doing the Hippo speedrun, and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it right now. Okay, H6 takes. Give him a follow. Give him a friend request. Give me one too, while you're at it. You know, send me a friend request. Although this is a speedrun account. My actual account is not this one. All right. If I go here, I could look to sack on H6. Of course, I got to get my knight out of the way. Takes. Okay, so the rook goes over, knight over. Okay, we'll start with that. Knight over, putting more pressure here. Knight B4. Yeah, that's a good pressure they got on me. All right, we'll take it. Maybe rook b1. Could work. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. The problem is queen e7 at the very end of everything kind of saves them. Okay, so I attack the knight. We'll start with that. Bishop f1 maybe? If they push. That way I'm at least looking that direction. They could also run to e3, but I don't think... that's also fine. That's fine. Yeah, that's not bad. e3's fine. d3's fine. b4, I kick. Yeah. No. I'd probably go back. e1, interesting. So e1... I think that gives me the opportunity to take that guy. I'm now looking at the knight. Might want to throw in this just for the heck of it. In fact, I'll do that. And if they take, I mean, if they don't take, the bishop can take or run, and that's not good for them. So I think they're going to take. Take, push, take, and then I have weaknesses over here that I can try to target. Of course, they have a passer I got to be careful about. Yeah, so that move, I think I can capture here. No, takes, never mind. Can I do this? Wait, here. Yeah, that looks good to me. So threatening mate. And if there, it's 1-2. Okay, the bishop goes out, so we go check. Check. I'll take this guy. Maybe knight f5. Okay, what do we got? They got 15 seconds, so I got to keep material on the board. Play complicated, crazy chess. I'm +1 now in material. Okay, a little check doesn't hurt. Just to stall out the clock. Here. Okay. All right, y'all. Now let's take a look at that game because I didn't play that attack out the right way there. So here, I want to point out, right? Knight f3. That's the engine move. Okay, so that is a good idea, a good theme. You can always go f5 later, which is very strong. I ended up pushing, which is still sound, and I did this. So, you know, it's worth mentioning black isn't losing here. It's just very hard to defend. Kicking was the engine move. That 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 was maybe the engine move. It's having a hard time. It likes knight h2, rook f2, and knight g5. Wow. I mean, I guess they can't take that way, right? And if they take that way, we blast through. Okay, but I did that. Okay, so here's where I messed up. So up until this point, my attack was actually good. Okay, good to know. Boom. Take a breath, bro. That's what I should tell myself. Take a breath, save this pawn. Takes here. Rook f2, we're holding. And this bishop, I don't know, just this formation isn't doing the most, but black played very well defensively for quite a while. And they were better here. Okay, that was a mistake. Apparently I have, wait, what'd I do? Okay, that's the engine move. I did that. That was fine. And here I need to slow down. Okay, this is interesting too, because I chased that king around. I suppose... Just add more pressure. Nothing can go there, or else the game's gonna be over. So, and if they go here, I take. Then I take. Okay, so that's a good theme too. So instead of just chasing that king, I talk about that a lot. There wasn't a way for me to directly stop this. If I, you know, if my knight was here, oh yeah, we're doing that because then they can't run, then we mate them. But here, just keep the tension instead of checking. I can do this whenever I want. And if they run, boom. Or here. That's probably a little easier to find, honestly. Just go after that king. Even here I am okay. And then stuff gets crazy. Black is winning now. They mess up. That's the best move, but I mean, 13 seconds on the clock. And from there, it's crazy. That's the best move. And then it's just stalling them out. Okay. Well, hey guys, appreciate y'all. Hope you guys got something out of my good games, my bad games, my good moves, my bad moves. I will see y'all tomorrow as we look to hit the rating of 2200 with nothing but the hippo. See you then. I wanted to finish this video out by giving a shout out to my Patreon supporters, including Walter, Rob, Ray, Roger, and Jerry. I appreciate y'all a ton, as well as the rest of my Patreon community. If you guys haven't checked out the Patreon before, make sure to go check it out. There's some exclusive benefits that you gain by becoming a member, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.